Good morning. This assignment is 4.1, Achieving Control by Charles Ackerman. We will be going over some control processes in which businesses and organizations use to manage change, but also implement goal setting and achievement of those goals. In this assignment, we'll be going over an introduction slide. Define the function and control of an organization. Describe the contemporary control and tool systems, and how does that tool system that we've selected work, and how do you obtain information from this control system as needed. All this will be discussed during the slideshow. Introduction. In researching topic control function of management, we found that there are key approaches that we'll be looking into. These approaches help us control management, gives us an example of what control management looks like. This also sets the tone for the rest of the organization in regards to goal setting, in regards to implementation of change and change tactics that are going to be used. Without good control systems and processes in place, you can't really measure the change or goal that you're trying to achieve. So these control components help you do this. We'll discuss various types, and in this assignment though we've been selected to go ahead and choose one, and I'll go over that one in detail and also give an example of what that looks like and what my experiences are in regards to using it. Defining the function of control in an organization. According to Invesco Business Journal, that's like a dictionary for business terms and everything. The control function management can be a critical determinant of an organizational success. Many authors and classes have used control theories and through feedback and adjustment processes. This is true in a lot of what I've been looking up, and from what I've seen, this really establishes the tone of communication and how the change process as well as other processes are going to look throughout the organization. So without a good control tactic in place, it really could be detrimental to your organization. The management of literature is filled with advice on how to achieve better control. Advice usually indicates type of measurement and feedback, and that's a key thing. Is you have to have buy-in from your followers, and you need to be able to measure the successes and how close you are to achieving goals. This is important not just for yourself to know where you stand and what processes are how close you are to process change, but also gives an indicator and buy-in from others and getting things moving forward. The basic control process, whenever is followed, has three components to it. Involves establishing a standard, so you have a basic standard in place, and then measuring the performance against that standard. So this is where your measurement or control component comes in place. So how are we going to measure this control and success in getting to where we need to be? And correcting deviations in standards. Sometimes you'll see ebbs and flows and changes in organizational that will affect your control, and you'll need to as I say, adjust on the fly, or make sure that you're headed in the right direction and not keeping the status quo, because if you keep the status quo, sometimes that could lead you astray and down the wrong path. Good management control system stimulates action as well as, I feel, a significant feedback and excitement within the group. So it will be it'll be really good to get everyone fired up about this control process and the goals that are established in an organization. And controls need to focus on 3 results, and those 3 results being, establishing a new standard, policies and controls that are going to be in place, and then keep moving forward. You got to reestablish your goals, refine where you're at, and everything as well. As I briefly mentioned before, in your control process, the reason it is important is because it does set the tone for other components within your organization. If you have a good control process, which also affects your communication and goal setting process and implementation of changes, they are all feeding off of one another. So you give it a bad example of a control process is setting a goal and not following through, or giving an update on where we're at on achieving these goals. People aren't really going to have a buy-in, and they're not really, it's going to, for less of a better term, go in one ear and out the other. There's no real buy-in. As to where, in my organization, we established what they call a bonus incentive goal for us reading core measures within our hospital. And every month there is a monthly progress on a dashboard that's handed out, or a balanced scorecard that we are able to take a look at and see where we're at. And it's indicated in 3 colors: red being below standard, yellow being standard, and then we have the obviously greens and blues. Greens are above standard, and blues are new records being set. This year was a great year for our department, as it was broken down to individual departments, as well as it goes even further in breaking it down to individual employees. The bonus incentive is based off of not only your department's performance, but also individual performance. So if you did not meet expectations in your monthly evaluation, this was indicated, and a portion of that was withheld from you. As well as if your department did not meet expectations, but you did meet expectations as an employee, the department portion of that bonus was withheld from you. So it's really intuitive for everyone to work together to achieve the goal, to maximize the potential of that bonus. There are many different tools to be used in regards to control function management in an organization. Such tools include activity-based costing, benchmarking, budgeting, total quality management, target costing, and so forth. The one that we chose to work with and go on is the balanced scorecard, because I have experience in my organization using and reading the balanced scorecard, and believe it is an effective tool that not only makes it easy to understand the information that you are trying to input as well as read from the balanced scorecard, but also ascertain where you're at in regards to progress and moving forward in regards being able to track not only quarterly or weekly trends if you choose. We use the quarterly system, but also is easy to see and understand and define what potential industrial standards are. So let's get started. First, what is a balanced scorecard? As you can see defined, a balanced scorecard is a strategy performance management tool, a semi-standard structured report supported to design methods and automation tools that can be used by managers to keep track of execution activities by itself within the control, and to monitor the consequences arising from those actions. So basically, it's a report that can give you 4 different tiers of information. One being just not only, and you'll see towards the end of this presentation as I bring up the balanced scorecard for you, you can have it set up to not only look at financials, but as well as quality matrix, as well as satisfaction scores, and another one that we use, it's becoming bigger and bigger, is employee satisfaction, not just consumer satisfaction. How is this to be used or done? Like I said, it depends. We use what we call a dashboard balanced scorecard report. So this one comes up with the categories, and it has many different colors involved in it. We'll see if I can find an example of that for you. What information can be determined and mapped inside the balanced scorecard, as I kind of touched on and the definition touched on, it really can be set up to what you wanted to look at. I know in our quality matrix, the balanced scorecard that we use at the hospital, we are not looking just at financial status and having an EBITDA margin of greater than 10%, but we are also looking at patient satisfaction scores, wanting them to be over a certain percentage, as well as our core measures such as lower admissions in pneumonia, or lower admissions for cardiac history patients. And also the new one that was been recently implemented for the last couple of years is the employee satisfaction. We want to make sure the employees are satisfied and making sure we're trending in the right direction to become what we call best place to be employed, for one of the best awards that are out there. So balanced scorecard is a key piece of information for everyone, and I believe we have an example. And here's that example I was talking about. As you can see, you can have it set up with different colors and achieving different goals, and they all come back to your quality control standard and strategy that's in place. So it's set up in various different types, but as you can see, these are the colors that the hospital has selected to use. We have the green as positive, blues, and these colors for this particular balanced scorecard are set up for quadrants. Ours is not set up for quadrants. Ours colors are based on goals of achievement goals. Red is bad, yellow is okay, green is achieved, and blue, as I said before, is above and beyond. So in this case, it looks like in this example, they have these set up for particular quadrants. One's financial, one is customer satisfaction, the other one is set up for initial business processes and growth. So it really is flexible in how you want to set up your balanced scorecard for your system. I find that this is one of the best and easiest to read. It stands out on a PowerPoint presentation. Easy to see, especially if you get familiar as you are in presentations with the quadrants that you're looking at. You can easily go over and see where the goals are and where you're at in regards to color coding it. So this concludes my presentation on control situations and the control process that I would recommend. I recommend the balanced scorecard, or my experience with the balanced scorecard has been very positive. We have used other systems in the hospital, but none have been, I've deemed, as effective, because I've been at the hospital for 22 years, as effective or more employee involved than the balanced scorecard, because you really are in control of your own destiny in regards to your performance and how that reflects on your bonus as well as assisting your department performance. So it really gives you that buy-in to making a difference as well as standing out within the organization. References are listed as on the back here. I'll also be attaching my reference page on the APA's formatted reference page as requested for this assignment. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Hope all is well. Thanks for your time, and we will talk to you.